Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Gauntlet. I have Jay, and Tyler with me tonight. And we got some exciting stuff to talk about. Really excited to have another good episode here for you guys. So, how we all doing today? How was the week? Do you guys have anything cool on the lineup for this weekend? Anything you guys are looking forward to for Labor Day weekend?
I think on Sunday I'm gonna go see that new movie 1992. Ray Liotta's final role. I came up watching him and everything. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go catch a matinee and see what. I saw the previews for it, of course, months ago and went to check it out. It came out today, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go Sunday and watch that.
That's what's up, bro. Anybody else?
Spending time with the family. Been a long work week, so spending time with the family. Probably gonna watch some college football this weekend as well.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm off on Monday, so that's cool too. So nice long weekend for me.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Can everybody sign autographs yet?
JJ, you got anything you're looking forward to?
Hey, listen, man. I started my new job, and I'm out here, and I'm just so blessed, and I'm so thankful, man.
Congratulations, bro.
Listen, man. If anybody knows, pretty much, I work for Navy Federal. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be off this weekend. I'm happy to be off saying that, I'm working again because I got tired of being out there not working. I got tired of being out there just chilling and, having a good day and everything. But it's cool. But this weekend, I'm sleeping. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to enjoy
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
But I do have a cookout to go to on Monday. And I have to call my cousins out because I'm trying to tell y'all, I be trying to do wellness checks with y'all, but y'all do not be getting back to me. So when I see them at this cookout on Monday, best believe I'm going to pull up on them because that's just what I do when it comes to my family.
He said it's on site.
You ain't going to just sit here and listen. I don't bother nobody. I don't do much. But when I hit you up, it's like, yo, you can just be back and be like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go. We good. But I'm just messing with them. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what's up with that, but these people need to get on it. So I'm going to start us off with the rapid fire. And there's been some changes to the rapid fire. I'm adding more topics than just the NFL, just to try to broaden the horizons a little bit. So first question I want to ask is actually a baseball question. How would you guys feel if MLB replaced extra innings with a home run derby to decide the outcome of future MLB games instead of just slugging it out until the end?
No.
Tyler, you're a baseball fan, so I really want to hear your take on this.
No, I'm a traditionalist, so no, I like how it is.
Okay.
1,000% agree with Tyler. At the end of the day, you're taking away the whole point of competition. If you have to sweat it out, you have to sweat it out. That's what happens in the game. The Boston Red Sox credit Nathan Eovaldi because he came back in after 1 day's rest and had to come back in after starting the game to actually finish off in the World Series. There was extra innings. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, it is what it is.
If you take the easy way out for a home run derby, then how are the players going to learn anything by going through a grueling 16-inning dogfight that you should have put the game away in 9 innings? Totally disagree.
At some point, people got to go to sleep, bro. We don't want to sit here watching baseball until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but
the stadium would have gotten their money's worth.
But I will add this on. The longest game that's been played this year has been a 12-inning baseball game because of the ghost runner on an extras. So games aren't as long right now. So
yeah,
I'll be honest with you. To Tyler's point, this is directly the extra runners and the extra innings. That benefits people who bet and benefits the books so much out here because if you notice, games will be slow. But once that extra innings come, all of a sudden, that's when the runs come. And then you have all of a sudden the lines change. Whoever pits something, it's almost like clockwork, honestly. But I like the old fashioned way. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, there's no. I understand the time part, but no.
Non-sports, what is your guys' favorite comfort food?
Ooh.
Boy, that's a
If it's a
tough
snack,
one.
Wings, goddammit! Who am I trying to fool
If
here?
it's a
You
snack-
can't beat no wings, man. That's my go-to. That's just what I do. If I'm feeling bad, if I'm feeling good, if I want to celebrate, if I'm just chilling, give me a 9-piece flats and drums.
You know, what's funny is that I go in spades, honestly. Like, I have things I'll be on for a long time. Like, snack-wise, it's vanilla wafers. I will crush those in a heartbeat. And it's like, I don't even have to put them in, like, any type of pudding, anything.
I love
just
me some
put them
vanilla
in
wafers.
And then, but
Banana
I'm with
pudding.
you
the
on that.
wing, exactly. Like, so snack-wise, into the wings part, listen, honey barbecue, give me that blue cheese, and then I am fine for the rest of my... It make a bad day turn good. You know what I'm saying? It make a
It's
bad...
that blue cheese, y'all hear that? Blue cheese.
I remember one time my brother's friend ate my wings. Boy, I was hot, man. I was hot. Because I had been waiting for those wings all day.
Oh, man.
And I sat there and I was just like, oh my gosh, you just ruined my entire evening. That's
Man,
how
that's so messed up, bro.
Barbecue for me of any kind, really. Brisket, ribs, pulled pork, anything. Barbecue in general.
Okay.
I love Mexican food. I love tacos, quesadillas, burritos, all the stuff. So for me, I would have to go with like some nice takeout from a Mexican restaurant, or even homemade tacos are fine. Give me a pound of ground beef or some chicken, and I can probably make that stretch for like at least a few days. Like I'm good with eating leftover tacos for a couple days.
Okay. All right, what you got next?
All right, guys. So we are going to take a short break. And then when we get back, it's time for the Sports Morons of the Week.
JJ, you on deck.
All right, guys. It's time for the Sports Morons of the Week. And I'm actually going to kick it to JJ.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, they say moron. I'm going to say call out. So, as you know, every day we are flooded with a bunch of things that happen in the media. A bunch of quotes, bunch of takes, bunch of just controversy and everything. So sometimes they don't even hit. So let's get to it. Let's give us the sports call-outs of the week. And if I happen to say my favorite part to see people's faces like John and James, let's go.
You mean like this? Had to play the clip.
Every single time you see John and then you see James literally sit there was like, what am I hearing right now? And at the end, he was like, oh gosh, I can't believe this is happening on the show. But go ahead, guys. I ain't got nothing for you. I don't have any call outs this week.
All right. So you going to pass it to someone?
Oh, yes. I forgot. Unlike U.S. men's team, I'm not going to drop this baton. I'm going to pass this over to Mr. James. Take him over here.
Okay, honestly, guys, I don't know what else to pick than Jerry Jones because I'm just kind of sick of this guy. I know he's been my sports moron for like the last couple weeks, but CeeDee Lamb signed his contract extension. He became one of the highest paid receivers in the league. I think only Jefferson is making it anymore. So this is just what Jerry Jones does. He does all this junk and getting the media to talk about him and talk about how stupid he is, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And then the guy ends up signing the deal anyway. So you kind of just dragged everyone just to get attention. And it's just really annoying to me. And now he's pivoting to Dak, and he made some stupid comments about Dak and his contract situation. Like, you know, I'm kind of annoyed with this guy. I'm just kind of annoyed, and I wish that he would go away into a cave or something. I don't know, and just kind of like disappear. So I'm just kind of annoyed and tired of dealing with him.
I didn't have a Sports Moron, but this is Dak Prescott even gave a response. He said, "I stopped listening, honestly, to things Jerry Jones said to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me." I think Dak may be checked out. I think you might be right, James. I think might be Dak's last year in Dallas. You know, there may be some fans who are ready to move on from him. Me personally, I said Dak Prescott will win a Super Bowl in his career, just not with Dallas. It is what it is. You know, I don't know why I saw him going to Minnesota. I still do, but yeah, he's probably got one foot out the door now. His own brother wants him out of Dallas.
Can you imagine the ego that comes with this man, Dak, with Jerry Jones? And at the end of the day, with Dak Prescott, I get it, man. At the end of the day, coaches, GMs, front office executives have to realize these guys are not like back when you had, Michael Irvin's, Emmitt Smith's stuff. You have to adapt. You have to meet them and understand where they are if you're going to bring the best out of them. When you have stories like you see with Tua and all of them, and then when I know personally what I see on my own team and what we had to do with our quarterback, you just can't keep doing this. And Dak, I definitely would think Dak needs to leave, because at the end of the day, he's sitting there thinking like, I've been dealing with this for my entire career. At some point in time, I got enough to deal with from outside of, people, period, because everybody on this show, at some point in time, has probably got a rag on Dak in some fashion, right? So now you got to deal with inside. Yeah, leave, man. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere you feel valued because you really care about football. You don't like dealing with this stuff.
All right, last thing I just want to say about this before I pass it on to Tyler. Dak, I think, is kind of in control of this situation, so we don't know what's going to happen this season. But don't quote me on this, but I think I read somewhere that he cannot be franchise tagged. So he kind of already has that leverage. So it's just going to depend on, what Jerry Jones is actually going to do. Are you actually willing to just let Dak walk and then just sign a random quarterback? Because as much as you may not think Dak is that good, it's kind of a risk because you don't really know who you're going to get to replace him. So that's the only thing I would say.
They may roll with Trey Lance, and in which,
I don't know about that. He did 5 picks in the preseason.
Exactly. I know it's just preseason, and I know people say, man, I don't pay attention to preseason. Preseason don't count. I don't give a damn who you are. Throwing 5 picks in a game should alarm anyone. Yeah. If you are any type of coach, 5 picks thrown in a game should be really concerning to you.
You know what's crazy? Trey Lance was the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
He sure was.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that.
And he's got, under 10 starts in his career?
Yep. So, I guess we know why the 49ers got rid of him. But, Tyler, do you got anything?
Yeah. So, mine this week, I saw some media from people kind of critiquing Caitlin Clark for wearing a really nice outfit this week. She had on, a Tiffany necklace, and they were saying that the outfit that she was wearing equivalated to how much she was making in the WNBA, and that she was spending her money poorly. I think this is absolutely ridiculous how many people are just hating on this girl anytime she does anything. This girl keeps breaking record after record. She just broke the women's rookie 3-point record just a couple days ago, and now people are critiquing her for dressing nice and using her money to dress nice. I just think it's what are we doing here? We're spending way too much time on this stuff. This girl is, role model to so many people. What she's doing is so special. She's going to be a superstar for years to come, and we're over here critiquing her because she's wearing a nice outfit. So crazy.
I'm with Tyler on this 1,000% because at the end of the day, just 2 months ago, y'all were sitting there saying she needed to start dressing better. Like at the end of the day, it's just like she changed her stuff, and you just people. I'm all for us being for each other, but some things you just need to mind your business. Like at the end of the day,
I agree.
I mean, it's sad to say, dude, and I did see. Shout out to Jacob Christner, man. This is why I hate fans, because they find every single reason to hate on you, no matter what good or positive you're doing. It puts a smile on their face if you're in a mugshot. It puts a smile on their face if you and a teammate get into a scuffle at practice or something like that. Yeah, that's just that. It's fans being idiots, really. And some media pundits too. We're not going to sit up here and excuse them one bit. Hell, we've even had some as sports morons in the past. You know, Caitlin Clark, look, she should keep doing what she's doing. She's all but got Rookie of the Year locked up. So, I mean,
I think she's got that locked
hers. It is nobody else's.
Yeah. It's hers to lose. It's hers to lose.
Negative million odds. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I don't really watch the WNBA, so I can't really give a take on the Rookie of the Year thing. But how is Angel Reese still having a good season?
I mean, Angel Reese is having a good season, and she would probably be the runner-up if you did who is Rookie of the Year right now. But I mean, Caitlin Clark it's already done. It's all but etched. You know, Caitlin Clark has Rookie of the Year locked up. She's been amazing. She's been incredible. She's done everything that she's gotten better as the season went on. She had all this hype coming into it, and she's lived up to it, man. She's great.
To be honest with you, James, her biggest issue was turnovers. Like she was doing like committing like
Clark or Angel.
CC, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, her biggest issue was turnovers. She was doing like 10, 15 a game, but that's quieted down since. So.
Yeah. No, that's good. Listen, just to respond to Tyler, I want to say this has to be some kind of like generational type of hating to actually take the time. Think about the time it would take to figure out how much everything she's wearing. Google it, find exactly what it is, find out how much it was, and add everything up. How much like that? You can't easily do that.
I mean,
so it's like. I actually kind of feel sorry for the person that doesn't have a life, so they actually had time to do this.
James, and I'm not trying to throw shade, but I'm gonna a little bit right now. There's a gentleman who isn't on the show tonight, who would tell you he doesn't like LeBron James's favorite gum, you know, and how the company is so. There are guys that are gonna throw shade any chance they can get, you know. He might say, you know what, I hate Orbit gum. I'm so against Orbit gum. Only, you know, so we're going to have these.
The only person that I think hates LeBron more than Dom was Skip Bayless because he posts on Instagram his alarm clocks. Like, LeBron, I just finished my last workout. Where you at?
So, I was looking at the comments real quick about Bacon versus comment. This is, so as everybody knows, I'm a huge W fan. Follow them, love them, talk to them, think about them, everything. There is a lot that people don't realize. So part of me said it's about Caitlin Clark and Reese are getting so much hate because they're carrying the WNBA. They're not carrying the WNBA. WNBA was just not marketed. It was not managed properly. So since Kathy Engelberg came in since 2019, that's when things start to get better. What Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are doing is being a huge boost to continue their goals that they were already working. But the thing is, all of this is really generated by the media. The hate is coming from both sides. There are so many things that I could actually dissect where I show you what is actually being said and actually being done, and then what the media is pushing out here. The media wants to divide because, as everybody knows, a rivalry and a divide, especially between races, is going to drive sales.
Yep.
And that's in a good way or that's in a bad way, but that is usually how it goes. It's considered yin and yang or whatever. Now, what I will say to touch to James' point is, skill set, whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark is better than Angel Reese. skill set, top to bottom, it is. It doesn't mean Angel Reese is not good, because I love Angel Reese. Loved her since Maryland, seen her since she was in high school. But it just, you look at the overall skill set right now, it is definitely Keelan Clark. What Angel has to work on is Angel has to work on her post-game move, her post moves, and she has to be confident in her shot. Best rebound in the WNBA for sure right now. By far the best rebound in the WNBA. But she has things she has to work on. Unfortunately for her, her development to get to the level of ascension that people want her to be is going to be a little longer than Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark right now actually has the better skill set. Because number one thing about Caitlin, the reason why she has a lot of turnovers is the girl thinks she makes every single pass. She makes all the right passes, but she has that vision of Jokic, that vision of magic. So she's going to turn the ball over, because if she sees a lane, she's going to hit it. But what started happening is she started picking her spots. She started recognizing, okay, I can't make every pass. Let me not have to wait, or I can wait to make this pass until we get a little closer. And that's why they're starting to die down. And they've got together. They've been playing with each other now. So they know each other.
Yeah,
and
Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tyler.
No, go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say real quick, and to JJ's point, with Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark has had to work at her craft, of course, during the season like everybody else. When she first, started beginning of the season, and she was having all those turnovers, the first thing that came to mind was she's just now realizing that the game is a lot faster than back in college. So these dimes are not going to come easy. But when she worked at it, like JJ said, started changing her vision and picking her spots, those turnovers lowered down from 10 to 2 to 1. And all this just takes work. That's all. But another to JJ's point, another thing that the media loves to do is to create a story. America loves a story, especially if it has a good guy and a bad guy. Now, of course, you're going to have some that kind of root for the bad guy. Who's generally considered the bad guy in this one? Angel Reese. Okay. Who's considered a good guy? Caitlin Clark. Okay. Angel Reese is the flashy, braggadocious one, and Caitlin Clark's the good old down-home girl, So, if they, and that's why you saw the media paint Angel Reese in such a negative light.
But why though? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
there's a lot of things the media does.
What has Angel done that's like that makes her the villain?
You can ask the same question about the blind hate for Caitlin Clark, because you're gonna have loyalists. When you drop something like this, you're gonna have loyalists.
No, to me, the Caitlin hate is more understandable. I'm not saying it's fair, but it's like anytime you're the star of your sport, you're always hated. Cristiano Ronaldo was hated.
Right.
LeBron was hated, etc. Tom Brady. So that's more understandable. But like, what exactly is the deal with Angel Reese and her being?
Well, I know a little bit of it. It's who she plays for. I know a little bit about it because, for one, I'm a Chicago Sky fan, so Angel Reese is on this team. But she's coming from a college of one of the most hated coaches in WNBA or in college basketball history. Not a lot of people are. Kim Mulkey. I call her Kim Milky. Because she aged like milk.
You wrong. Go ahead.
But it's true. But yeah, she's a terrible person. So when you're gonna play for Kim Mulkey, you're gonna get that. And then two, just to add on to it, and really to make JJ's point even more. To be honest, Angel Reese isn't even the best player on the Chicago Sky. If you don't think Carter is the best player on the Chicago Sky this season, I question if you've been watching. So
yeah. But another reason why the hate for Angel Reese is started with this. The second she started doing this, that's when they started painting her as a bad guy. And then it just
you gotta go a little bit back even more, because it wasn't really that the most part. That was what garnered the attention. They were doing that from before. She was sitting there getting dimes, getting blocks for stepping on her with no shoe and sitting there looking like this. What she's doing is she's doing the very thing people want the NBA players to do.
Yeah.
And this is to Megan's point. You want women to sit there and be prim and proper, but not realizing that when they play in basketball, they're just as filthy and dirty as us. And you can't handle it. And with her, what she's saying is, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to be who I am, whether you like it or not. And the thing is, I've been telling people this for so long. It's very hard to take an NBA person's fans' opinion seriously a lot of times because they're very hypocritical on every single thing. So when you meet, you have to really pay attention and figure out who is consistent, because they are the ones that get the more rational opinions, like us on this panel. And to Tyler's point, yes, it's Kennedy Carter, and at the end of the day, Kennedy Carter is their best player. But the thing is, Kennedy Carter also has, other things going on with her and things like that. But people don't realize that they're just ridiculous. And the thing is, Angel doesn't care. Angel's going to talk her talk. Angel is just like any other person we see that's talking trash in the NBA. For every single person that loves Kobe Bryant, every single person that sits there and loves Michael Jordan, don't you dare.
Oh, he froze.
Don't you dare. Just as soon as he said, don't you dare. Like, he knew something good was coming. But let me just, hold on. Let me jump in real quick. I kind of get what people are saying about Angel, but this is not the same as like a Dylan Brooks situation.
Exactly.
Like when she's talking trash and just being stupid. Like, there's a reason why everyone hated Dylan Brooks was because he's an idiot. Not because he's talking trash. So there's no problem for me with Angel Reese and the trash talk.
There shouldn't be, and she's gotten unwarranted death threats because of it, And not only that, but she did the exact same gesture that Caitlin Clark did. Caitlin Clark has come out and said, I don't have a problem with what she did. She won the game. She earned that right. What does the media and dumbass fans do? Run the other direction with it.
I mean, they're friends. Period. They're friends.
Yeah.
They're friends.
And I mean, Caitlin's getting all kinds of flack at just so is Angel. So it's like you could definitely say that Caitlin's dealt with quite a bit of criticism from people. I just spoke about it in the Sports Moron even. So
yeah. Listen, man, this was really fun. I don't follow the WNBA, but nobody can say, any viewers of the show cannot say that the people here do not support women's sports. And this conversation was proof of that. So when we get back, Tyler is going to introduce the topic of the week. And I think it's going to be pretty spicy. We'll be right back.
Is that like habanero spicy or like, Frank's hot spicy?
So what's up, everybody? I feel like this is kind of, I don't know if this is kind of went under the scenes or not, but the media has really picked it up, and it's we're talking about Coach Prime. We're talking about Primetime. He banned a reporter from the Denver Post this week. Basically, the Denver Post writer at the time, I believe his name is Keeler, Sean Keeler. He tried to ask a question to Deion. He wrote an article basically first about the media day that Colorado football was happening, and then he tried to ask a question. He got skimmed over, and Deion was not going to answer a question from him. Afterwards, Deion said that he was no longer going to take questions from this media reporter for the rest of the season. This is actually the third instance that this has happened from Deion Sanders, and this all happened this year. So it brings up the question, are we siding with Deion for looking at who he is taking media questions from? He has since put it in his contract who he will be taking questions from and who he won't be taking questions from. Or are we siding with the media on this, saying, when is it too far? What questions can be asked? What is crossing the line? I want your thoughts. Obviously, Stephen A. has taken criticism to this. Paul Finnebaum has responded to Deion about this. So there's all kinds of ways to look at it. But I am going to kick this off with JJ, because I know JJ has been definitely following in tune with this as well.
JJ actually just bounced. So do you have a second option?
Yeah, James.
All right, and JJ just got back, so actually, we'll kick it off to him.
Yeah,
JJ.
so
I'm just not. My camera's not working, so I don't know if you guys.
Did you catch what Tyler just said?
You guys, y'all can see me?
Yeah,
You're good. You're good.
All right. So what did Tyler just say?
He just kind of introduced the Deion Sanders topic.
Correct.
Oh, I heard most of it. I just lost the last bit of it.
Tyler, you want to just go over the last part?
The last part was just basically Paul Feinbaum's response to Deion Sanders and Stephen A. Basically, they were saying what Deion did was basically, in Paul's words, disgusting and disrespectful to the reporter. He basically kind of threw a little shade saying that Deion didn't have thick skin. Deion basically responded back and says something along the lines of, basically they're talking about me. I'll just say it like that because I don't want to word it the wrong way. But basically, all these guys want to talk about me and that Paul Feinbaum is an old dinosaur. So he's not really caring. And Paul Feinbaum took that as a compliment, saying he appreciates being an old dinosaur. So really my question through this whole thing is, do we side with Deion Sanders that it's okay to ban certain media members from taking questions, put in your contract, or are we siding with the media on this as maybe Deion could have handled this a different way? Maybe he could have had a little bit thicker skin. Maybe he shouldn't have pointed it out. So that's my question.
So I actually, to your point, I did a lot of research on this today. So what I honestly feel is there's it's layers to this entire thing. It is not necessarily what the media seems to be putting out on things, because I read an article from a guy named from James Marilot, and he is a reporter, and he says people get banned all the time. He said that's number one. He said the only reason why this made news is because it's Deion Sanders and what has happened. So it's not as if this is just some reporter that is a victim in all this that people are kind of putting out. It happens all the time. So we understand that it happens all the time. There means there is merit to why people may feel justified in how they feel. Then as I dug deeper, it's the things that were said about Deion is that ultimately is what happened with this guy Keeler, and it has been over a certain period of time. So think of it if you're at work, because he's working as a reporter, Deion's working as a coach. If someone's harassing you or you feel harassed, what are you instructed to do? You're instructed to go to management or HR to have it handled. And one of the suggestions that they say is stop. If that's what is bothering him, stop. What really bothered Deion, and because I absolutely understand, because I have been reading about him and I understand because is the one thing that ultimately I know set Deion off to said no is that he called him a false prophet. As a man who is reconnecting with his faith, I know how serious that would make me feel if someone said that, because number one, no one is Jesus. So we're never going to be sit there saying that. And when Deion was responding to Finnebaum, he was definitely saying like he doesn't want to blow his fan or things because he's all about love. I think Deion is like, this is my faith, and the reason why I have an issue with this Keeler is that I can take the deposition crime, Bruce Lee of BS, all of that stuff. But if you don't want me to question your belief system if I'm religious and you're not, don't dare question mine by calling me a false prophet when I've never said anything of the sort. Far as I remember, and I did research, I have never seen Deion really call anyone a derogatory name or out of pocket as a coach. And if you guys have, please let me know, because I definitely did some research on that.
Yeah, so I have some, and thanks JJ for speaking on this. So I have some thoughts on it. So this got a lot of press where I'm at in Southwest Florida. Deion grew up in Fort Myers. So Fort Myers is literally about 10 minutes away from me down here. So North Fort Myers, where he played high school football, is literally a 15-minute drive to go watch him play. So it's gotten a lot of press. I don't have an issue with what Deion said, right? I don't have really an issue with even the contract thing, not wanting to take reporters. Obviously, this is happened with multiple reporters now. This isn't just Keeler. He did this with CBS Sports as well. I believe in the beginning of August, he did this with it. So Deion's kind of done this a lot. Just some observations I've seen from Deion that I think, and once again, he's still very new to being a college football coach, and he's trying to build Colorado up. He's trying to, really build this program up to be a national identity, and I think they're already starting to. If you look at the views they get, but the issue I took was when the University of Colorado co-signed with them. That was the biggest issue for me, because if Alabama would have did that with Nick Saban, you start to open these questions, right? Like, what is fair criticism? What is crossing the line? And this guy wrote it for the Denver Post, so that I had a little bit of an issue with the university co-signing with them. I thought they should have just stayed out of it. That's really Deion and the reporter and the media's issue. Obviously, all of us, are very much, proud enthusiasts of being in the media. So I do worry about certain. You have to understand who you're talking to, because you're going to gauge them differently. And I do kind of wish that Deion at times would kind of, like, for his personality, obviously he doesn't want to hear all the criticism about my team was 4-8 last year. He wants to focus on the future. What are we now? Right now we're a 1-0 football team, right? But I wish he would take kind of a play out of the Nick Saban and Bill Belichick press conference.
That's what I was thinking was Bill Belichick.
That sometimes you can be, you don't have to say a lot, and you could say a lot, right? That's where I stand on it. I'm okay with what Deion's doing. I'm okay with the criticism. Didn't really like the university co-signing it. I think they should have just stayed out of it.
I will say this: if he came to them and said he felt uncomfortable dealing with this guy because of his attack at his religious beliefs, knowing how we are about it, I understand why they co-signed. Because if you didn't, that's a bigger case, because now you have an employee who feels discriminated because you're not protecting their religious beliefs. When you go into every job, that is a big deal. So I do think that's where they're coming from. Yeah. I think the thing is,
I'm not really sure if
hold on, because there was a couple things I wanted to get in there before. Okay. I just wanted to get this, and I will let you guys speak, because I really was going to go last so everybody could get in, because I knew I had a lot to say. Mm-hmm. So what I will say is that Deion is, a couple things that Finnebaum said was that Deion everything he's all about himself. Deion, when he came into coaching, said he is going to take on the mantle so his players do not. And at the end of the day, your coach is somebody that is expected to do that, because he understands what this age that we're in. These guys, when you attack them enough times, they have to develop the skills to be able to deal with that. Deion is going to be his bravado by nature. Now, reason why I do side with Deion, but I do recognize where Deion went wrong, because while I do agree with him feeling personally offended by someone attacking his faith, I would sit there and say, like, what the word calls for us. And this goes back to what we were talking about last week, is that the word teaches you to understand people and give nothing but love and grace. And we often fall short in that. So in this situation, I would have told Deion, what you would say is, hey, my friend, we are here to work together. I came with love. I'm going to be able to take criticism. I just ask that you respect my faith and leave that alone. That's the mistake that Deion did. If he came that way, I would think it would be received in a way that would be better, because he's not sitting there just saying, man, I'm with this. He's sitting there saying, listen, man, I understand I do things that rub you the wrong way, but let's talk about it. Because that's also what he said to Finnebaum. He was like, let's talk about it. Now, at the end of the day, if you don't want to talk about it, that's your deal. But I think when I look at everything and examine it, he was wrong 1,000%, but I actually can relate to the reasons that it led to this situation. But I get what he could have done differently because of how he felt about the situation.
All
right, Jay, you want it or you want me to take it?
I'll take it real quick. They pretty much said it all. It's just I see Tyler's point about the university staying out of it, but I also understand why they did. I'm looking at it from a I got your back standpoint. Had it been anybody on this panel, I would have done the same thing. I'm also looking at it from a business standpoint. Right now, he's University of Colorado's moneymaker. Let's protect him. You know, he's the cash cow. He's bringing in the ratings. He's doing all of this. So I understand that side also. I also thought, and granted, yes, you have to protect your faith at the end of the day. You know, your faith is what makes you sometimes. They was wrong for coming at him for that. This also reminds me of the, what's that shithead's name? Jason Whitlock. Whenever he made that stupid comment to Kobe and Kobe embarrassed him and he made an enemy out of Kobe. See, this also is for the media out there too. They need to watch themselves and how they talk to people. That just because they carry a microphone and a couple of cards, that doesn't make them Superman, right? Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, also see it like this. When Tyler mentioned Bill Belichick, that was the number one thing that was you look at clips of him and how he deals with the media, and he is a mastermind at that. He glares a hole right through you. And I mean, like, if the camera could, like, pan to who he's glaring a hole through, they damn near get blacklisted. Like, you know you effed up saying something like that, you know? But also, at the same time, I understand why Deion reacted the way that he did. Especially if all he could see in front of him was, whoa, dude came after my face. That's a no-no. There's just certain things, you know, to and JJ, he outlined everything, but I'll just preface it with this. There are just some lines you don't cross, and the media is no exception. Go ahead.
Okay, before I start or give any responses to anything, does anybody know for a fact that this is about religion?
What I know about Deion is Deion has had issues with anyone who has questioned or threw something about his faith. And I think I understand.
Were the original comments about faith?
Pardon?
Were the original comments that were written, was it anything to do with faith?
One of the things that was said about him from Sean Keeler is that he claims to be a false prophet. Okay. That was what sparked the conversation. So it was brought into it from Sean Keeler. And so at the end
that term, if you're deep in the faith, like, it might not harm you, but if you're deep in the faith, that is very harmful.
So that's where I was saying, and I know James, I would definitely love to have him before because he definitely hasn't had a chance. So I think, with him being a devout Christian, I think that is the part from knowing what I've seen and how he's handled or has, responded to people who's questioned his faith before. That is what I feel has enough evidence to feel like that is ultimately what had let this gentleman be banned in Deion's mind.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I don't have definitive proof.
I see where you guys are coming from. However, this is what I'm going to say. The guy is paid to cover sports. He's not a preacher. He's not a pastor. So, with all due respect, his religious beliefs and what he's thinking about in his faith, I think that's the furthest thing from this guy's mind. So when it comes to calling the guy a false prophet, I think it has much more to do with everything Deion has done since he has kind of become a college coach, constantly being in the spotlight, constantly talking and chirping, which he's the major reason why all these people keep coming for Colorado. It's basically because of him. It's not because the players are talking. It's not because his son is running his mouth. Deion continues to run his mouth. And at some point, when you get smoked by the competition, like last season, they got destroyed by Oregon. And after that, Deion didn't want to talk after that. So I think that's where the false prophet stuff is being directed at. Nothing to do with religion or anything. When you're a sports journalist, you're not thinking about someone's religion. You're thinking about writing stuff and creating the content for the organization that you represent. Much like we do with sideline sports, it's the same thing. So I kind of am gonna have to say that I'm leaning more towards the media's side on this, because when you're at the top of your profession, especially in sports, you have to be open to criticism. And there's a lot of things that people are gonna say, and that you're not gonna like. You have to be a man and deal with it. And Deion has not dealt with it in the proper way. He's kind of ducking and dodging it. So if you think this is the only guy that has something to criticize Deion Sanders, you're mistaken, because there's a lot of people that are criticizing him. I'm criticizing him. So should I be banned from writing? Should I be banned from giving an opinion? I don't think it's fair. I think that I think it doesn't match who Deion tries to represent himself as a person. So that's why I have a problem with it.
So my question to you real quick on that is, and I just wanted to ask because of what it says, is just as how you have laid out your evidence for your opinion on how you said, this is not what it is, and I've been on the opposite side. We both could be wrong. If you understand what I'm saying, like I could be thinking this is what it is, or you could be right. You could be thinking that it's not about religion for him. I could be right. But the thing is, we don't know. So what I would say is, do you think if you were to find out that it had to do with religion, and that was ultimately what led him, to being banned, could you accept that as a reason for him? Because for me, I can accept the opposite side because I know everyone doesn't think like me. Everyone doesn't have the same beliefs or the same thought process.
Okay. To answer that question, I will say first, if that were the case, I'll take the L. But I have a really hard time believing that it's like that deep of a situation. But I would be very shocked and kind of thrown off if that was the case.
So I'm just going to add a couple points on to why I said what I said about the university because I heard Jay said, well, I look at it as the university having his back, but this is where it's not a good thing, right? Is that there has been so many coaches, college basketball, college football, you name it, right? There has been questions that have gotten bad press or a question that didn't go the right way. And the universities stay out of it because it starts turning into this thing against the media in which what is out of line, what questions can be said. You start coddling to the coach more, so the media is going to be even more hard pressed to ask questions. And on top of it, in Deion's situation, it's hard because I kind of do agree with James on this. Like Deion has chirped a lot and granted, I know that he came in with not a great recruiting class and stuff like that from last year, but it's a 4-8 football team going into this season, and last night they needed every bit of it to beat a North Dakota State team, an FCS school, which I'm not saying is a cupcake. They certainly have won, championships there, but they were an 11-point favorite and they got through it. But regardless, I don't like the idea of universities getting involved in it because I don't like the idea of us putting limitations on what media members and media could even ask coaches. I would feel very weird if that happened, if they decided. I mean, they certainly could have sided with Mike Krzyzewski. They certainly could have co-signed for Roy Williams or Nick Saban or these prolific coaches that are, so beloved in their cities, but they didn't. But the fact that they did for Deion kind of was like, okay, I don't really like it because he needs to kind of figure this out on his own. You know what I mean? He's a second-year coach. He's not a seasoned coach yet in college football. He needs to kind of figure it out on his own. And like I said, if someone says something to you, sometimes the best response is not responding at all.
So what I would ask you is, if your employee came to you and did express concern, how would you show them that you care about their, well-being, working for you? Because they are working for you, making money. So if he were to complain, because I'm not saying he did, but he may have. But if an employee did complain with this very situation, how would you handle that?
Last point,
So-
we got to get to a non-sports topic after this.
So as a property manager, for example, when contractors are coming in here, let's say contractors and vendors that I deal with, right? That come in there and they say something that rubs me the wrong way, right? It might not matter because the board of directors that I respond to, the board president, the secretary, the treasurer, they already might have, a contract with that certain vendor. At a certain time, like instead of me voicing my opinion, I kind of have to put it aside, get through it, and just know, like, going in the future, if I can have a say at that time, then I will. Sometimes it's hard to win the battle all at once. My only thing with Deion, and like I don't have, like I said, I don't have an issue with the way that Deion said things that question his faith. I totally get it. The issue I had is that the university, I don't think, had to be involved in this at all, because then it opens it up for other universities to co-sign for other coaches when a question's asked, and all of a sudden it's an even harder job for the media. That's all.
Jay, why don't you introduce us to the non-sports topic?
All right. Well, shifting gears here. And y'all know I'd been on a whole kill streak on the whole music thing and everything. I think it's about time we kind of brought it back. So, I actually got to thinking the other day, well, some time ago actually, and I was like, you know what? I wonder what, because everybody on this panel, everybody watching has, if you listen to hip hop, like we do, you have an album that is just absolutely perfect to you, okay? But tonight we discuss why is it perfect to you. Tonight we discuss what is your criteria to rate a hip hop album a 5-star album. James, we'll start with you.
Okay, the easiest thing for me, and also I know the thing says hip hop, but I feel like this should be applied to all genres of music, not only hip hop. But you can't have an album be like a 5-star album if you have like a couple songs on there that are fire, and then the rest is just like skip. Like if my finger is tapping skip on my phone like 5-10 times, not a top 5 album. It has to be something that I can put on at any time and I can listen to the whole thing pretty much all the way through. So not every album is going to have that from every artist, even the best ones. But for me, generally, you can't be skipping songs like repeatedly and consider yourself like a top tier album.
No, that's very fair. Bottom line, number one, a 5-star album can't have any skips. I think that's fair to say, But no, absolutely agree on that one. We'll swing it over to Tyler and get your thoughts. What is your criteria to rate a hip hop album a 5-star album?
Yeah, so I kind of rate them all different too. I'm with James though. This could be applied to all genres because a lot of people know that I'm a big rock guy too. So like, if it's a hip hop album, like lyricist is definitely plays a huge factor. The way an album makes me feel, I agree that it shouldn't have any skips. And a 5-star album is something that's going to get lots of playback, right? It's not going to be one run through. It's going to be one that's getting, even if it's a bulk of the tracks, let's say it's 7 or 8 tracks on the hip hop album, but I am playing them religiously. So that would be what I would say for hip hop. Lyricist is a big thing. Flow is a big thing. Big Outkast guy. Big Nas guy. Back in the day, I was a big Nelly guy. Nelly made me feel some type of way. I was
part of the champion
skating ring. So Nelly was one. So definitely that. But then if we look at like rock albums, right? If I look at rock albums, I don't just look at the lyrics. It becomes more musicianship as well. I like good guitars. I don't like when people, I know the difference between someone putting a pinch harmonic in something as opposed to someone sweeping in something, as well as someone playing more intricate parts on the guitar. There's a reason why a lot of people don't cover John Mayer, for example. John Mayer is such a gifted guitarist. Some of those little parts that you think you listen to a song from him and you go, oh, this is a pretty chill song. But some of those parts, people don't replicate it because it's so hard to play through for a full 4 minutes. You just mess up over and over and over. So like John Mayer Continuum, for example, is a 5-star album to me. But at the same time, I can name 3 Outkast albums I consider 5-star albums to me personally.
Name them.
Well, I mean, AT Aliens is probably my number 1.
Okay.
I have a very this is gonna maybe not be everyone's, but Speaker Box for me, because of nostalgia and how much playback it gets, I would put Speaker Box. You know. Yeah, and then
Southern Playalistic. Say it.
Southern probably would be, I guess, but 5-star, I would say those are probably the 2 5-star from Outkast, and then obviously Nas Stillmatic is a 5-star album to me. I mean, Stillmatic even is a 5-star album to me too. I guess I have a lot, you know, when I think about it. So, but those 3 artists in particular, Outkast, Nas, and Nelly, were a big part of my hip hop growing up. But if we want to talk rock, I can go from John Mayer to Pearl Jam 10 to all kinds of that too. So I can.
It was a perfect rock album.
I'm gonna ask Tyler.
There's not enough time in here, so I'll kick it to
Tyler a rock question before we pass it to JJ. Which album would you pick? Californication for Red Hot Chili Peppers or 10 for Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam 10 for sure. I think 10. And Californication is a great album, and Flea is probably the best bassist of all rock bands altogether. But as a whole, Eddie Vedder and the way he wrote 10 is one of the most beautiful albums of all time. Pearl Jam is my favorite band. And it's not just because of lyrics, it's because of musicianship. They are so gifted. And on top of, 10 from Pearl Jam. That's honestly probably, James, I'm not even kidding. Californication is such a good album, but 10 from Pearl Jam is probably my favorite album of all time. So,
okay, that's fair enough for that answer.
I mean, shoot, if I could pick, and as much as I love Nirvana and Kurt Cobain, the better lead singer, probably Eddie Vedder. Vedder could actually sing.
I agree.
I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Vedder could actually sing.
Love Nirvana. Love Kurt Cobain, and Nevermind and In Utero are great albums, but I
was blasted from Californication last year when I went to vacation in LA. I was blasted that song.
Yeah, they now I will say,
but JJ, do you want JJ to jump in real quick just about the hip hop stuff?
Yeah. Go ahead, JJ.
And by the way, JJ can talk about R&B or however.
Or whatever music you consider a great album.
Well, I appreciate that, but I was going to do it anyway. I'll be honest with you. Because honestly, for me, it is based off of my moods. Because when I think about the 5-star albums, I think about them in how I listen to music in different lights. If I'm looking for just straight up dancing, have a ball, have a good time, it has to be B-Day for me, just because it's upbeat, there's right features on there, and she worked her behind off, and you dance from top, and she had different types of dance, and she had a little bit of, slower songs up in there, so I will give it a that. But then I think about the soulful, the chill R&B side, and I see 2 5-star albums for me just because it flowed and the beats were just so sick. I would have to go to A Seat at the Table with Solange just because it was about loving yourself, and I remember the intros were awesome. And I think intros also make albums for me, which is why I even go back to Danny Kaye, because Danny Kaye had an intro that I liked. But with A Seat at the Table, my favorite one was Tina Knowles was said, you can be pro-black and not anti-white. And that is what we are. And so I love that because at a time where I didn't really know how to properly explain that, it gave it to me. And so I was just like, that's why I love that, because and the soulful, everything is great. An underrated R&B album is Carrie Hilson's first album, because when she came out, her beats were on point. Kanye wasn't crazy. Kanye was perfect with her, and Timbaland, who everybody knows and people don't have to sleep on, Timbaland can make some music and make some videos back when videos was still hot. So I look at it that way. Then if I think pop, and the thing is, I grew up on pop too. I love this girl, and she can't sing a lick. She can't sing at all, but Britney Spears' Femme Fatale is an album that is a pop album that I play to this day. I'm talking pornography, hot as ice, cold as heat, you name it, I play it. I loved that album for Britney Spears. And so that's what for me, it's just different lights.
Oh, well. Awesome takes from everybody.
I mean, if I want to add a female real quick, Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that album.
One of the best albums of the 1990s.
That album.
One of the best albums of the 1990s.
I'll give you a rap album, Jay. I'll give you a rap album. I will give you a rap album because I did, at a point in time, did listen to rap. I did listen to rap. Tyler said it. I lived for Speaker Box and the Love Below. I played Hey Ya to no end. I played Hey Ya. I played Roses. I played all of them to no end.
Yeah,
they are a great group. They are a fantastic group.
Top
and
3.
Andre 3000, my boy. I live for Andre 3000. And Big Boy is a heck of an actor. And when you go to those gangster movies, he's a heck of an actor. Definitely.
I'm with you. Top 3 ever for me. Like I talked about Pearl Jam and how much I love him as a rock band, but Outkast is in that top 3 too. Love Outkast. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before I give him my take, and granted, yes, this can be applied to any album of any genre. The only reason why I highlighted hip-hop is because there are going to be hip-hop albums that you look at differently from a rock album. For example, Tyler mentioned it, the guitar riffs. There aren't that many guitar riffs on the hip-hop album,
it's more
song
samples.
vibes. There aren't that many song vibes in a hip-hop album as would be an R&B album. You see what I mean? So that's the reason why I did. But no, awesome takes from everybody. I would say my criteria would be, first of all, to James's point, no skips. As a matter of fact, I'll go even deeper than that. I will say that, let's say, for example, you got a 12-track album. When I say 5 of them, 4 or 5 have got to be absolute bangers. And we're also looking at lyricism. We're also looking at content. So I also want to hear some real life shit going on, Talk about how hard it is out there for the inner city. Talk about some breakup you had with your ex-wife. Talk about something that's going to tug at people's heartstrings. 50 Cent exploited the shit out of the fact that he got shot 9 times. He made that known, which is a real world incident. And that's what got him the underdog factor. Give people something to view you as an underdog, right? At least until you get to Supremacy. The rest of the album, chill vibes. You can have a couple of songs for the ladies, a couple of songs for the guys. And then also, I really love when albums end with something soulful. Something to where it's like almost like a Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror type deal. I'm not saying a song that great, but something along the lines of it. But to me, that would be a 5-star album because it makes you well-rounded of an artist. Now, I also go by talent vibes as well. A 5-star album to me is Bone Thugs and Harmony, E1999 Eternal. The lyricism is there. The music vibes are there. The beats. They had a dedication to Eazy-E, which turned out to be the biggest single in the world at the time. So that right there. Also, Nas is Illmatic. Bacon Grizzly said it. Get Rich or Die Trying. He mentioned one in there also. It was a 3 Days Grace album. The album that they came out in 2006. And I remember this because my roommate at the time period, I would hear it through his wall. So I learned the songs literally by him playing it through his wall. Whichever album that came out in 06, that was a great album also. I'd probably rate that probably a 4.5 though. But yeah, that's my criteria for what makes a 5-star album. As far as hip hop, I would say out of R&B, definitely give me some soulful vibes, a little bit more so than a hip hop album. I would say definitely the lyrics play a factor. topic matter as well. Give us a little something between. Let's see here. Give me a little bit of baby making. Give me a little bit of groove and a lounge type of deal. And also, if you want to throw in some Whitney, Children Are the Future type shit, that's cool. Also,
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
I know that I talk about this album so many times on the show, but how many stars would you give to Graduation for Kanye?
Woo, 4.5. 4.5. Excellent album, but not as good as Late Registration or College Dropout. But it's close though. What would you give it?
I also would probably give it somewhere between 4 and 5.
Yeah,
maybe a little higher.
Yeah, that's not to sit here and say that it was a bad album. It absolutely was not. It was the great album. It's just that there were some tracks on the previous 2 albums that were better than some of the ones on Graduation.
Well, he also got better.
I will say though, for Kanye, like when 808 came out after Graduation, that's kind of when I was let down. Not saying there's not some good songs on there, but when 808s and Heartbreak came out right after Graduation, that's when I was starting to see because I love those first 3 albums. I love Late Registration, College Dropout, and Graduation, but 808s is kind of when the auto-tune thing started picking up, and I liked the auto-tune from other people like T-Pain, because T-Pain kind of, was Epiphany, for example, an amazing album. But 808s, I was not feeling it for Kanye, so I will say that.
Kanye doesn't really need the auto-tune.
Yeah, I liked Kanye when he was, when Kanye was rapping. I didn't like the auto-tune Kanye. But T-Pain, on the other hand, I love it, right? So it all comes down.
Yeah, depends who it is.
I'm going to give slight pushback on 808s because, and now mind you, to be fair, it did take a few listens for it to finally register through. I see what you guys are saying as far as the auto-tune. Kanye really didn't need it. But I love the 1980s vibes I got from the songs. So that right there kind of pushed it for me. Is it his best album? No, I'd probably give it a 3.5. But I didn't think it was a bad album.
And by the way, just to throw it out there, anyone check out Coda the Friend if you like a new cool chill rapper. I'm very big on Coda the Friend. He's super dope. So
Coda the Friend, where's he from? Chi-Town?
Well, is he like a new
Colorado
artist?
Actually, from Colorado. So
what's it? Coda? Coda the Friend?
Nope, Kota.
Okay, just found him. All right, yeah, I'm gonna listen to some of his tracks when we sign off here.
Yeah, super chill vibes.
So what was the debate you guys were having for like female artists?
Oh God, I don't think there was a debate. I mean, if we talk about female artists, I could bring up so many '90s rock singers that are up there. I mean, to be honest,
can I tell you the truth?
I love this. What?
Can I tell you the truth?
He gonna tell you nobody.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I really liked listening to Avril Lavigne.
Okay. Dude, when I was a kid, Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow were it, man. Before Sheryl Crow went country, Sheryl Crow, if you listen to Tuesday Night Music Club from her, man, dude, I will roll down the windows playing that. I don't care who hears me.
I think that was right around the same time. So, Tyler, dude, what was the name of Smashing Pumpkins' double disc album back in like the mid-90s?
Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
That's it. I played the hell out of that album back in like the 8th grade.
Money album. Really good album. Well, that's all I got. Did JJ dip?
No, he's there.
He's back. His camera keeps messing.
Actually, I do want to ask JJ one question before we sign off. Put him on the big... JJ, if you could pick any female rap artist right now that you feeling, if it's one, who would it be?
Well,
I know who he's gonna say.
Like current ones?
Yeah, current.
Oh God, don't say Sexy Red.
He ain't gonna say her.
I picked the young lady from Houston. I picked the young lady
Meg
from
Thee Stallion, of course.
But I saw a video she made and I'm just like, ugh. Sorry. I can't. I just can't. And it's, again, something dealing with the faith part, but that digress. But I rock with Megan because, you know, at the end of the day, I dance and I dance just like her. So yes, let me get her. Before it was Cardi.
With all due respect, she ain't better than Nicki Minaj at her peak.
I love Nicki, but I've been seeing her for the last 14, 15 years. And so it's like, and I don't like how she treats other girls out there. I don't like it. And honestly, she has been more
I'm just
popular.
glad Sexy Red ain't in this discussion. Oh my god.
Well, then you can like Sexy Red. You do your thing. You know. Go ahead.
No.
Sexy Red is not that sexy, though. But why does she think she is?
What are her songs called? Like Yellow Discharge and
Yeah, she has a lip
hold
lock.
on.
Sexy
Can
Red
somebody
is
tell me
Sexy Red is big because she appeals to the more plebeian.
who is the girl that sings a song that's like, I'm a nasty girl and all this? Who is
If
that?
you actually go on
Sounds like all of
you
them,
will see
really.
a bunch of adult entertainment people loving her.
I'm about to Google it right now.
They are the ones
she's
ones.
super popular, but her track list is wild.
The Vanity
Dude.
Six. Who the hell is that? I never heard of this people, but I heard this song so many times.
What?
She's a
What'd you
nasty.
say?
It's like, I'm a nasty girl, I'm a nasty girl. That song. You guys have heard it. You guys never have heard that song?
I've never listened to a Sexy Red song.
Bro, I swear that this song is like always on the radio.
That sounds like every slut rapper.
It's basically
Right
a
now,
song about, it's a song about being a hoe, is what it is. So, I don't know. Kevin
Hold
Samuels,
on a second.
Kevin Samuels would say that's a low value song.
It is.
That's what it is.
I don't.
I mean, she is one. She is a you know. She likes it. That's what she appeals to. You know, that's her thing. She talked about it where she says she has multiple baby fathers and she cheats on dudes. That's her niche. That's what she does.
Yeah, she
Bro.
definitely drew an audience from it.
When have you really seen someone openly put out sex videos of themselves? This is what she does. And at the end of the day, she ain't doing nothing but works. It's working because she's selling herself. It's, you know, go ahead and be a girl out there and do your thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately for me, I would sit there and say, hey, you know, at some point, I think you're going to be like, you know, it's no worries. It's too much.
yeah, and I think she has. Is it? I don't know if this is a song or if it's her lip gloss line, but
It's her lip gloss line. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, booty hole brown, gonorrhea, yellow discharge, blue balls, sex on my period. Yeah, so you know what she's.
And there's women buying it.
Like I said, people will be buying it up. I feel you. I feel you. My wife buys all the stuff from Lady Gaga's line. She has really good makeup, I guess. So, I don't know.
I don't know nothing about that. No offense, but I'm just gonna say I'm not qualified.
She makes really good makeup, Cassie.
I'm not qualified for this conversation.
That's all I had, y'all.
Yeah, I'm out. I will not be on next Friday. Obviously.
No, we're not having a show next Friday, bro. I already said it. Me and you, we gonna be doing something else.
Yeah.
And just so you know, the Packers will be wearing green next Friday, and everyone needs to. I've been reading up on it. I've been reading up on this a little bit more, and I think it's a little bit of a hoax. I don't think they're gonna unalive.
Nobody's gonna get shot.
Yeah, it's all gonna be good. I mean, come on.
But the NFL is still idiotic for scheduling two teams with green.
Yeah, especially in a stadium where their rival wears green. So that's a little weird. But regardless, let's just pray for a good game, and obviously everyone leaves.
Next week, real NFL is back finally. So looking forward to it, and we will see you guys on the next show.